All right. So we're gonna. Darryl's put out a new video, Collectors Edition question mark. It's finally here, or is it? Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection rant. Check it out.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for clicking on the video. Let me tell you a brief story. August 1st, 2025, the announcement was made. Pre-orders were up for Mortal Kombat, the Legacy Collection, the Deluxe Edition, as well as the Collector's Edition. Being a huge fan of old school Mortal Kombat, I knew that I was going to be picking up one of these versions of Mortal Kombat. I saw what was included in the Collector's Edition. You know, it was the most expensive one, but I knew I had to get it. So when the pre-orders were up, I went right over to Atari.com and I ordered my Collector's Edition. And it said, you know, after all the payments and everything went through, it said it's going to be delivered or whatever December 12th. And I was excited about it. Now, price-wise, $150.
I refunded mine, by the way. After about a week after the absolute disaster of the launch, I refunded my Deluxe Edition and my Collector's Edition, and I spent that money on actual games that fucking work.
$50 American. I live in Canada, so I knew I was going to be paying a little more than that. At the end of the day, it came to about $302, almost $60 for shipping, as well as the $30 for taxes and such. And I was like, man, that's ridiculous. $60 for shipping. But it is what it is. I paid it. I was fine with it. It's cool. That's fine. So that was it. All said and done. I got my confirmation emails and such, and boom, that was it. It was done. Now, a couple weeks later, I heard, a lot of conversation in, in Discords and such, and on videos on YouTube and such, people saying that, no, Collector's Edition's not coming out till May of 2026. But, being an optimist and, a glass half full type guy, I was like, well, you know what? Atari, Digital Eclipse, none of them, they haven't sent me any emails saying that there's going to be something, that it's going to be a different delivery date. I was set on December 12th being the delivery for this Collector's Edition. So, fast forward a few months, here we are, it's December. It's December 16th today. But here we are in December. December 12th comes around, and I get a email from UPS saying that I got to pay an import fee. They got my package, but they're not going to deliver it unless I pay the import fee. I knew this might happen, but I was willing to accept it because I'm a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. I want this Collector's Edition. I'm excited for it. So I paid the $32 that they wanted Canadian.
My excitement levels on what it would be like when I lift the toilet seat and I place my testicles on the porcelain and I smash the lid down multiple times. That's the excitement I now have for anything coming out of Digital Eclipse, especially anything Collector's Edition related.
For this, and boom, went through. Excellent. December 12th, I'm going to get the game. So it was supposed to be here December 12th by 6 o'clock. UPS, I get another email after that saying, some stuff came up or whatever. We weren't able to get it out to you, but we will have it to you come December 15th between 9 in the morning to noon. I was like, all right, good enough. That's fine. Monday comes around, and, I come home from work just after 3 o'clock. I check my emails. I notice there's no package, no nothing. I check my emails, and it says that now it's going to be between 2 and 6. And I'm like, okay, all right, it'll be here between 2 and 6. Sure enough, 6:18 comes around, and I get another email saying that due to severe weather, we were unable to deliver your package. So, severe weather, okay, I am in Canada. Some of you, it did snow on the weekend, but the roads were fine, okay? The problem is that all our UPS drivers right now, no, actually, you know what? Sorry, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that.
I know exactly what he's thinking. I know exactly what he's thinking.
That's not what this is about. Long story short, they couldn't get it out to me, so I get a message this morning, okay, because it's the 16th, saying that your package will be there before noon. Sure enough, it wasn't there before noon. Then I get another thing saying it'll be there between 2 and 4. I get home from work, there's a package. All right, so here we are today. I get a package in the mail. Now I'm looking and I'm like, this is a pretty darn small package. What the heck? This is the Collector's Edition? All right, let me take a look at it. I open it up. Sure enough, this is what I get.
I think I'm so black-pilled on Mortal Kombat right now. I'm probably not being very uh rational with things I'll say. But this is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, this is fucking hilarious. Why? Because ever since the release of this collection, they have taken the bar, lowered it to the possible lowest it could go. Somebody grabs a shovel and then digs a hole under it and goes, no, hold my beer. Lowers it more. Digs a hole. Awesome. Right. This right here, right? This right here is like this is peak cinema, right? This is peak. Okay. Actually, you know what? That's gonna be the thumbnail, right? Because like I had another thumbnail, but I'm gonna change it to this one. It's like, you know what I first thought, right? Well, when I saw the title, I'm thinking, oh, it's about time. It's about time, right? Darryl's a great dude. I've spoken to him a couple of times behind the scenes. He's a really nice guy, right? But he's a very positive guy, right? And unfortunately, when you have an audience that is used to a certain way of doing things, this is what happened when he pushed back on the MK mythology stuff about having rewind. Suddenly, if you promote a lot of positivity, like positivity streams, and then suddenly one day you snap and you're like, fuck this shit, this is crap, you know, you share your opinion, you know, I don't think he's kind of used to how to deal with that. I listen, I was born in it. Right? I've been doing that shit ever since I started doing YouTube decades ago, or however long it was now, right? Back in like, fuck man, 2009, I was starting doing YouTube, right? Because I think two things can coexist at the same time. You can love something, but also be highly critical of it because you want it to get better. Some people can't psychologically figure that out. They don't understand it. They can't figure out how that works. And while he still plays these games aren't new to the collection outside of WaveNet that nobody gives a fuck about. And MK4 that, well, it wasn't the true Zeus hardware version. Apparently, it's just the main dump that's been modified. Again, from what I've been told. So, you know, like, and then, of course, we add on the things like the Switch version not having MK4 on the cartridge. You know, stuff like that. And it's like, well, you're a preservation company. Why are you making it a download? It's supposed to be on the cartridge, right? Oh, you know, we had to, we had to get it in early and we couldn't do certification. Just fucking delay the whole thing. I've been on record saying they should have delayed it till next year. It should have been delayed until next year, right? Just let it go, bro. Okay, people will wait. And I think it was the creator of Mario that once said that people always remember a bad release. They almost never remember the delay. Because once you get the game after a delay and it's great, nobody cares anymore. But if you get it and it's bad on release, everyone remembers, and that affects sales, word of mouth, and so on and so on. It has a knock-on effect, right? And I'm looking at this guy, it's about fucking time, right? Because I see comments. I see the snide remarks. I see the toxic positive types out there that are like, not Darryl, but others. It's like, we fucking, well, at least I'm having fun. Well, nobody said you couldn't have fucking fun with it. You fucking child. Nobody said you couldn't enjoy the product. Nobody's saying you can't play it or buy it. I'm not, anyway. Right? But this is where people get too much in their feels. This is just a video game. Right? Take yourself out of the equation and look at it from an outside perspective. You got one person selling something, one person buying something. If the person buying the something is not happy with the product or there's false or misleading advertising, they have every right to talk about it. Now, maybe you're not having a problem with it, right? Oh, but it's not all of us. It's not all of us. Well, that's great, isn't it? What, so they should just shut up now? They should just be quiet and not voice their opinion? Sorry, that doesn't fly with me. If you've handed over something from something else and it's not up to snuff, I don't care if you're the only person doing it, right? You stand up and you call it out, because that's how things change. Otherwise, these companies, as what Darryl is now going through, realizing that they will fuck you over. I mean, this whole thing's been a train wreck. It doesn't end.
All right, I get the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, the Xbox version. That's it. That is it. So, I'm looking through to see, is there anything in the mail, like, is there anything in this package envelope saying when I'm going to get the rest of the Collector's Edition? Because this isn't what I ordered. Atari, this isn't what I ordered, all right? Digital Eclipse, this isn't what I fucking ordered. I ordered the Collectors.
Well, you got to hold it up to your ear, mate, and just imagine. You got to imagine the Collector's Edition, right?
Collector's Edition of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. So this comes from Limited Run Games. Fuck you, Limited Run Games, all right? This isn't what I ordered. Now, the thing is, send us an email. Send us something to let us know that you're fucking us, because you took our money, no problem. $300 and something for me. But, you know, I'm under the impression, listen, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, if I wasn't part of the Mortal Kombat community and checked out videos on YouTube, I would have no idea that this was all I was getting today. And
I don't want to be part of the Mortal Kombat community. I don't want to be part of the Mortal Kombat community anymore. Right? I love playing Mortal Kombat. Like, I like the games is what they are. Right? And I love Mugen and stuff. But, like, the MK community, my eyes opened up. This would be a kind of an aside to this at the moment. But my eyes opened up around the time of Gamescom. And I started to see real people behaviors. Right? When the stuff went down with Headlock Gaming, you know, and he got upset because I just didn't believe him on the spot. Yeah, I saw some shit. And I got told some shit as well. Alright? And it's like, this is, you know what? And I just need the side comments, right? Because when you got people out there that are trying to grease the wheels so they get their doors open for Warner Brothers or whoever buys Mortal Kombat, right? Or Digital Eclipse so they can get their interviews and all that sort of stuff down the track, right? You notice that their behaviors, they're willing to almost accept anything bad or downplay it, right? And even Ketchup and Mustard had to acknowledge how bad this stuff was getting, right? When people in their own community were calling them out and saying, what the fuck? Just say something, right? Because when you stick your head in the sand, right, and you ignore all the noise, people aren't stupid. They can tell that you're purposely ignoring it, right? And I say this to people. I've always said this, right? That the reason why, like you might be fine with all this stuff. You know, they'll fix it, they'll patch it, and they have been patching it, and, you know, give them props for that. Right? You might be fine with buying something broken and then piecemealing it back together over time. Maybe you're fine with that. But eventually, something is going to come along that you won't stand for. It's a bridge too far. Exhibit A. Right? This is what happens every single time. You're fine with it. You're all cool with it. Right? And this is just a general statement. No pointing fingers here. I'm just saying. But people will be, oh, he fucking hates too much. Oh, why can't he just be happy? Why can't you be grateful? Yeah. What am I grateful for? Was this a gift? No. Because I got money. I had to pay for it. Right? It was a transaction. It was a relationship. The relationship being that I would not be abused. Right? At all. And vice versa. But it appears that Digital Eclipse decided that there was certain information that we shouldn't know about because they knew it would affect people's sales. And in interviews prior to the release of the game, they never said no crossplay. They said it will be the first thing that we're going to be looking at after launch. they just didn't anticipate the launch being so fucked that they basically had to come out and say, we can't commit to it anymore. Crossplay in 2025 not being there for a fighting game, it's dead on arrival, right? You can keep your little fucking shitty rooms, right? You know, where you'll have like 20 people probably max in a lobby, or not in a lobby, in the whole fucking, the amount of rooms available. Because I tell you what, man, it is like slim grim over here on the Australian side, because I can't play people outside of Australia without chronic lag. Right? I can play people outside of Australia on Fightcade. I can play people outside of Australia on Granblue, and there's no problems. But Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection? Sorry. So it's fine if you're getting the matches. And this is where people will be like, oh, well, what are you complaining about? I'm finding fights. Well, that's great for you, isn't it? So we all should just shut up. We all should just go back to our hole, you know, and not complain. I thought the NRS MK community was fucking soft. Gee whiz, like, there's a bunch of poses on this side as well. And this is what I can't stand. I don't want to be part of the MK community. I like MK, I'll talk about MK, and I'll just deal with my community. Right? Whatever that covers. There's too many egos, too many fucking, you know, toxic positivity merchants out there. Too many fucking, you know, oh, I need to, oh, that's it. Oh, whoever buys Mortal Kombat, that's it, baby. Oh, yeah. Get fucked. I'm just tired of it, man. Right? And now, Darryl is experiencing what we have been saying this whole time. Right? Dog shit. Right? And eventually, everyone hits the wall. Whether it be immediately, a little bit, or after a while. Eventually, everyone hits the wall, and the realization comes that, okay, this is crap. And it doesn't matter how much you fucking, you know, fucking gloss a turd, it's still a turd. Right? It's still a turd, because I'll tell you something right now. Okay? I don't dissuade people from buying stuff, personally, because at the end of the day, if you're having fun with it, that's perfectly fine, right? But I'm not gonna encourage people to buy it either. I'm not gonna do that. This whole thing has been unacceptable. And they took something that I love, and they made a laughing stock out of it. Like, at least for us old heads, the Legacy Collection was gonna be like a thing of joy, something that was really fucking fun to play and experience. And I can't even do that. Can't even do that. Because you just disrespected it. And you disrespected the player base. You lied. Whatever online code you have in there is a joke. It might be rollback, but is it the beta version of rollback? Because I tell you fucking what, man. And this is not just some, you know, they're not doing this in their garage. This is backed, also, Digital Eclipse is also backed by Atari, which is then also backed by Warner Brothers. There's money to go around. So either they're purposely trying to sabotage this shit, or not. I don't know. But it's really fucking weird. And they have our money. So the advertisements about rollback, right? No word prior to launch, knowing full well that MK4 wasn't going to be there on the Switch. There was nothing about that. We had to wait until people were streaming the Xbox version for Milk to know that there was no lobbies and shit like that. And they kept quiet about it. You might love Mortal Kombat Digital Clips, but it seems like you have no respect for the people that are putting the money in your pockets. And this is a huge IP. This is a gigantic IP that you have fumbled, right?
A lot of us had no idea that this is what we were getting. I haven't seen one person out there who got the Collector's Edition because, sure enough, it's not going to be released until May of 2026. And I'm only saying that because of what I've read online. You Google it, when is this actually coming out? And it pops up as May 2026. Now, they could have sent an email saying, All right, you're not actually getting it all come December 12th. We're sorry, but no, nothing like that. So as you can see,
because essentially what they're doing is they're lying by omission. They're not saying anything. So then you can't hold them to account, right? That's their thinking anyway. So with World of Warcraft, right? So World of Warcraft, like by and large, obviously, like almost all the population, plays it by simply downloading it through the launcher on Battle.net. Okay. Very rare species out there will go and buy the disc anymore. It used to be much more disc based, and you can still buy collector's editions for the game. I have mine pre-ordered for midnight when it comes out next year, right? Now, what used to happen is that if you pre-ordered the digital version, right, obviously you'd be having full access on day one. But if you pre-ordered the collector's edition, right? If you pre-ordered the digital version, you get like I think early access, right, for a few days, and then the digital version, or even on launch date, like depending on the launch time, right? If you got a physical version, okay, you wouldn't get that physical version, even though it gave you early access. You wouldn't get the early access. They'd release it still on the launch date, so you'd be paying for a part of the feature that you can't even use it at all. And they had to change that because that's kind of legal problems, right? Because you're advertising something, right? Saying, yeah, you'll get early access if you pre-order this version, right? But you don't get early access because you can't get the version until launch day, which means you don't get early access, motherfuckers, right? So, I think what they've tried to do is kind of that. They're like, look, here's your physical version, right? The rest of the shit's coming. But again, there's no talk, right? There's no communication. Just like everything else, there's been no communication. And we all have to find this stuff out ourselves.
See, this is what I got. Okay, if I wanted this, I could have went to fucking...
It doesn't, I don't think it even says... Yeah, it doesn't even say Collector's Edition on the thing. Like it doesn't even say the collector's edition on the thing, right? It's just the standard box, and to add insult to injury, right? Because I'm pretty sure this is true. Things like the lobbies and stuff, you still got to download. All right, so they're not even baked onto the disc there anyway.
Fucking Walmart and picked it up for $50 Canadian, and that would be it. So instead, I've paid $32 for an import fee, in which when I do get my collector's edition in the mail, it's going to be another $30 or $40 or $50 because it's a bigger package. I'm going to have to pay that on top.
Listen, this is what you do. You refund it. I refunded it. I refunded mine. I never regretted it. I didn't give a fuck about the extra shit. I did until I realized how I was being treated. And as soon as you realize how you're being treated, you want no part of it. I don't want any part of that extra shit. I'm not giving them a further $400 for a deluxe and the collector's edition. No fucking way. I will not for myself pay abusive behavior. And that's what it is. They're abusing the customer with this sort of shit. And he's right. They'll probably have to pay another $32 to get the extra shit in there. So then he's ending up spending, $64 on top of, the already expensive collection that he's paying for, right? It doesn't matter how good the games are. This is where people don't realize it doesn't matter how good, right, these old games are. The collection that they put them in and the disrespect and the failures that they have done it's just one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other.
Top of the money that I already paid for this. So as you can see, I'm pretty upset about this. This is I've been trying to be positive about this collection from the very beginning. I was one of the ones who supported the hell out of this collection itself, and I guess this has nothing to do with the gameplay and such. So you know what? I enjoy the game, obviously.
Well, it doesn't. I like many of us were supportive in the beginning because we didn't know how it was going to turn out. That's how it works, right? You don't know how it's going to turn out until it turns out, right? But I'll be honest, like the stuff with Gamescom really opened my eyes, right? And you know what's funny about the whole incident with Gamescom? When I had my conversation with Headlock, because he thought that somehow I should just believe him, right? And apparently voices in the community came to him and said to Headlocks that they couldn't understand why Fate's doing this. This is what I was told, right? I'm like, okay, well, who's complaining about me? Who? Give me some names. Didn't get given any names. Isn't that funny, right? And you know what's hilarious is that there's another guy in the community who I won't name unless he wants me to, who absolutely went scorched earth over the same guy. I mean, 1,000 times like harsher than I ever was. I was simply saying, look, I just kind of need a bit more info. This dude pulled out the fucking pitchforks and basically brought hell to his door. Headlock didn't say shit. He didn't say anything to this guy. Didn't complain, nothing. So why me? Why was I targeted? I think I know why, right? But that's when I realized that this community, even on the legacy side, is a bit of a joke, right? Self-preservation and all that. Hiding in their rooms that no one can get into. The people that know that joke will know that joke, right? But this is what pissed me off, right? See, I'm useful when people are mad. When people are upset and they want somebody to voice their opinions that they themselves don't want to put out there, I'm their guy. As many others, Mike's their guy, others are their guy, right? Total's their guy, right? But when they've decided for themselves that they're over it and they're happy again, then suddenly you then become the toxic problem. I've seen this behavior with people for, not just in gaming, but for a very, very long time. They only put up with you until you are essentially not, needed anymore, right? And I'm not crying about, like, people not needing me or anything like that. My point is, though, is that, like, when people's minds change and you still don't want to support something or you still call out the bullshit, right? You're the problem. But you weren't the problem when they needed you. When they were feeling disenfranchised, when they were feeling ripped off, when they were feeling pissed off and stuff like that, you were their guy. And as part of the human condition, unfortunately, this isn't just a gaming thing, this is an everything thing, right? People are like this. I've seen this in many times, in many situations over decades, right? And it's annoying too, because, like, what it means, though, is that, like, after a while, people are like, well, maybe you should just be quiet, self-censor. That's how it was around Gamescom. That's how it felt, right? That I was trying to be corralled into, like, well, you should know better. But what it really did is it made me question the people that I thought I knew. The people that I thought we were cool with. When you start throwing out there that there are people coming to you complaining, but they won't offer up names, I got a real fucking problem with that. I got a real problem with that. And then, despite that, this whole Legacy Collection launch from then has just been an absolute shit show. Right? It has been an absolute fucking shit show. Right? So, and I love MK. But I love it enough not to sit back and just let these people get away with murder or ripping people off or whatever. Right? No, they're not murdering anyone unless it's in the game. You know what I mean? I'll still call it out. I will always call it out.
I play the hell out of it. But the whole process between these pre-order, like for the pre-orders and all this bullshit. Listen, if you're in Canada, then don't order from AtariShop.com, whatever. Like, seriously, you are going to get fucked around. You will not get what you want. I've heard horror stories about the other stuff because I have looked into it now. But horror stories about people who have ordered from, limited run games and their package arriving like 2 years later and such. Like, it's all bullshit. I'm really friggin' pissed about this. And the fact that this is all I got in the mail, and the fact that I'm gonna have to pay another $50 import fee just for the collector's edition or whatever, it's absolute bullshit. So fuck you, Atari. Fuck you, Digital Eclipse, and fuck you, watching. No, I'm just kidding about that. Sorry, I was getting heated up. Not fuck you. Thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate it. There's not going to be a live like an opening of the collector's edition like I was hoping to show everybody what was inside,
because there was so many things I had planned for this collection, like running competitions and all sorts of stuff, and it's like, nah, can't even do that. What am I supposed to do? Fight 2 people in Australia? Probably just be me in total. like who the fuck else are we going to fight over here? The whole thing has just been an absolute colossal fucking nightmare, right? Digital Eclipse did more damage to Mortal Kombat to a degree in this last year than NetherRealm probably ever did to a degree, right? Because at least I could look at the classic stuff and go, well, at least I got that to play. And then they announced the classic collection. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Well, that's it. Us old fellas are sorted out, and they couldn't even fucking do that right. They couldn't even do that right, man. And it's like, what are they doing? Right? You lie by omission. You don't fucking tell people till the 11th hour with stuff. I mean, what do you expect? What you just want us to roll over and just take it up the ass? You have our money. You get paid every fucking day for your job. Do your fucking job. Fix the fucking network. I don't care who you like. I literally have a video on my channel to showcase how bad it is compared to Fightcade in the same regions, in the same parts of the world. What version of rollback are you using? Fucking beta version, right? Did you find this in the dumpster out the back of the shop? Like, what are you doing? For fuck's sake, just fix this shit so people can play with each other. Most of my online friends are around the world. I can't even play with them without it being a fucking slideshow. Maybe I'll just email the moves to them, right? And then they can just email the moves back.
We're not getting it. We're not getting it until May, as far as I know. So listen, if you've had an issue also with getting your, I mean, obviously you have. If you're pissed off that you didn't get the collector's edition that you put your money into and that you ordered, let me know in the comments. I know there's going to be people that are saying, hey, you're one of these shills. You get what you deserve by supporting these games and such. That's fine too. Whatever. Hate me now if you want. That's fine. But anyways, there's your collector's edition.
I don't think Darryl's a shill at all, right? I think he's just, as he said, he's the glass half full type of guy. And in general, like, I generally am too. But when it comes to like voicing my opinions on stuff, I've got to keep it real. I'm not saying he's doing that either. I'm just saying, like, for me, I've got to keep it real, right? And when you are a mostly positive content creator and then you put out on the rare occasion content that just absolutely is like, whoa, holy shit, I actually think this is good. I actually think this is a positive, even if it probably doesn't feel like it, because you're getting to see a whole person here, not just one side, of it, right? One of the few things that I've maintained through all the years, is, and I've said it before, is, to just be me. So people get to see all sides, pissed off, sad, happy, excited, whatever, right? Because then they see a whole spectrum of you as the creator. And, I don't think Darryl's used to pushback because he's not a confrontational type of guy in that regard. But he's a customer and he has every right to be pissed. He has every right to be annoyed, right? But I wouldn't be recommending people buy this. I'm not going to be mad that people do. But, the whole vote with your wallet thing is very, very clear here. If I was him, given his channel size, I would be promoting Fightcade. Right? And whatever else he plays on. I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be doing it through collection. Right? Because I'm pretty sure he's bought other versions too. I think, I don't know, he might have a Switch version. He might have a PlayStation version. I just got Steam. I don't have any other consoles. But there are people out there that have bought different versions. Right? Like, they are not getting any more money out of me. Fuck them. Right? No fucking way. I don't love Mortal Kombat that much, right? Where I'm going to give a company that's been disrespectful to my dime any more of my cash, right? So no, he's not a shill. But if I was in his position, I certainly wouldn't be going, "Oh yeah, this is a great product. Go buy it." How is it a great product? It's been a disaster on every single conceivable metric when it comes to everything like bugs and crashes and all sorts of shit. Yeah, and they might have been on the ball trying to fix that. But we now have a broken online system that you can't play anyone outside of your own region. And we have no future for crossplay. So it's basically dead on arrival. Well, it was dead on arrival, but now it's even more dead on arrival. Right? Dead. What the fuck are we going to do? Like, you know, like there are so many games out there. And by the way, right, on my server, I have a developer for Arcadesia. Arcadesia is the emulator that allows you to play PlayStation 1 games online, aka MK Trilogy. And it just got announced recently that they are bringing PlayStation 2 games to Arcadesia, which means the 3D era games are going to be made available for free. Right? Yes, it's on PC. Yes, some people it's difficult. And, you know, I should, in theory, actually, I did do a video on it. I should probably do another one again. I know what I did wrong last time because YouTube didn't like me posting a link in the comments. And that's what actually got the video in trouble. But I could do a video showcasing the greatness of Fightcade and the greatness of Arcadesia, right? Because most people have a computer, even a laptop, and they be able to play this stuff, right? It doesn't take much, you know, power to run these old emulators now, given the types of CPUs and stuff that we have. Even on like older stuff, they're still way outperforming because I've been playing these emulators for decades, right? And however long these like PlayStation 1, PS2, PS3 ones have been out for, right? So I know over the years as I've upgraded how the performance rolls, you know, so I know they can go back pretty far. But like this is just unacceptable shit, man. Right? And if I was in his position, I wouldn't be fucking advertising this shit. I wouldn't be promoting it. Fuck them. I mean, there's so many videos out there from everyone literally sitting there going, like, this is unacceptable. This is just absolute failure on every metric. Right? And the only way these companies learn is not only by not voting with your wallet in the future or getting a refund, but also by word of mouth, right? By letting people know, hey, this is not on. This is not on at all, right? And anyone sort of greasing the wheels, you know, and making out that, you know, we should be silent or not complain and stuff like that, then, well, then you have to question what their true agenda is, you know. But
you know, box opening, reveal, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, this is all we got. So absolute bullshit. Still love playing this game, however, but this whole process has just been ridiculous. And the amount of money I put into this, for fuck's sakes. Enjoy the rest of your fucking day.
Everyone hits the wall. Everyone hits the wall. Darryl just hit the wall. Right? Should have happened a while ago, but yeah, we all get there, right? We all get there. But I'll post a link in the description for his video. Let me know what you think. But you know, like, this is just terrible. You know, it's fine if you're in a country that's got a lot of other people playing, right? But I literally can have empty lobbies with no people, not even people running a single room, for hours on PC, right? It shouldn't be like that. We should have crossplay in there to sort that problem out, because then it won't matter about population, because we'll have access to everyone. But they won't do that, right? And my sort of like dream of possible DLC and shit like that coming out, I don't even know if that's going to be a thing. right? Because I tell you what, they got a lot of making up to do. They can turn it around. But right now, outside of basically being a glorified front end to play these old games with some tweaks and access to cheats that a lot of them have been made available on PC and through emulators for decades, the online still is so bad. Like, I can't even multi-queue for games and go play other stuff. Right? If I want to do quick match, I gotta fucking, you know, I gotta, what do you call it? I gotta just sit there and look at the fucking screen. The hell is this bullshit? I don't want to sit there and look at the fucking screen. We're in a lobby. I don't think we can go. We can't, can we? We can't go into like training or anything either. So we just sit there waiting for somebody to hopefully show up. We can't go off and play another game. We can't like launch the game, right? And then somebody just press player 2 and then jumps in. How the fuck did these things get missed, dude? Anyway, catch you next time.